or Twitter/Periscope. Here we've got Instagram live. We have to do it on two separate setups because one likes the wide version and Instagram likes the portrait version. So how's everybody doing? Welcome to the weekend, huh? This is May 76th. Or March 76th. I mean, where am I? It's all running together. It's Groundhog Day. But hope that you're doing well, and I hope that everything is going great. Happy Saturday to you, Dwayne. Great to see you, as always. Hope your weekend is going well. Man, we have a beautiful day here today in Las Vegas. Not a cloud in the sky. Been outside a little bit today. Going to be outside a little more. Just going to work outside today. And all good stuff going on. So we'll give everybody a chance to jump on here. Gosh, hi, Ted. Good to see you, as always. Glad that you're here. Hi, Ann on Instagram. Alex, my gosh, if you don't subscribe to Alex Beaton on Instagram, you are missing out. It is the best follow to teach you more about Instagram. Alex, I've learned so much from you. It was great to meet you at Social Media Marketing World. I'm thrilled that you're here. And I don't know if you saw, I got a few pictures from Brian Fanzo of all of us together at the reception. So hope you're doing great and things are good for you and you're part of the world. So great to see you. And your speech was extraordinary. So wanted to chat with everybody today. Hey, Charles, chilly and overcast in San Jose. Glad you're here. Colin, woke up earlier in the week, and for the first 3 hours of the day, I had no idea what day it was. Yeah, I know. That's why I was saying it's March 75th today, I think is the date. I don't know. But anyway, it's great to see you. Charles mentioned chilly and overcast. Lowell saying good weather in Indiana. Yeah, Alex, I wish we could have said so long as well. I didn't realize that you were sick, and I was looking around and missed you, but it's such a big conference. I just assumed that we didn't have a chance, but we'll get a chance to say hello and all that again sometime very soon, I hope. And congratulations on your upcoming wedding as well. Hey, everybody, wanted to chat just for a little bit today here on the weekend about the fact that what we do now, the steps we take during this incredibly challenging period of time, is going to be remembered long after this pandemic is over. In other words, how we treat our customers, how we treat our friends, how we connect with them, how we treat the people that work with us is more important than it has ever been. And again, as we've talked before, this is not a time to be reaching out and selling, but it is maybe the best time ever to be reaching out and helping. And so what we have to do is to find a way to connect and show the people that are important to us, friends, family, customers, colleagues, how important they truly are. I want to pass along something, and I got a bit of really, really good news today. American Express has a website for business and how you can grow your business and business advice. And if you're on Facebook or YouTube, Twitter, you can see I just posted. There's the post. And it's called 6 Books to Help Your Business Innovate from the Inside Out. And it lists the 6 best books on innovation that you can get to help you rise above the competitors in your space. And I'm really, really thrilled that my book, Iconic, is one of the 6 books that American Express said today was one of the best that you can get in terms of how you innovate, particularly during this incredible time of change. So, as you might imagine, 2 of the companies that are featured in the book, St. Elmo's Steakhouse in Indianapolis. So I wonder if you haven't read Iconic, one of the things I tried to do was to not do the typical Starbucks, Southwest Airlines, Apple kind of stuff. I wanted to find businesses that were really standing out in their respective field and show how they did it, but not only how they achieved it, how did they sustain it as things changed in any marketplace well before this pandemic. Okay, so with that in mind, that's what I talked about in the book, and that's what American Express posted today. So I contacted Jack Miller, who is my friend, who is the general manager of the Fairmont Scottsdale Princess. It's one of the case studies in the book, and I just wanted to let him know that the book that talks about him and talks about his property got that accolade from American Express. And it was kind of an endorsement of not only the book, but an endorsement of what they have done there at the Fairmont Princess. And so his response this morning, I just got this, absolutely blew me away, but it really talks to what we're talking about here, about the importance of what we do. So Jack wrote me this morning, and he said, Scott, it's so awesome of what happened, which is really cool. He said that. But here's the next point. He said, we're still open at the Princess. In other words, the hotel is still open. Now, you might wonder about that, and I got to admit, I kind of thought, really? I didn't think they'd still be open. But what I realized is that they, some hotels have to be open. Flight crews that are still flying. Why are they still flying? Well, one of the things I didn't realize is how much of a high percentage of mail is carried as cargo on the regularly scheduled flights for passengers. So many of those are still operating. There are people who have to travel with what they do, government officials and people involved in the pandemic response. So they have to stay at least minimally open. But here's a critical thing that Jack said. He said, it's not easy, but the struggle is real, and I did want to share with you some of what we were doing. He said, I've said since 2011, that's when he took over, so he's been there 9 years. He said, since he's been here, one of the things he said to his team is that we are family. Now, because of the situation, we have had to furlough 123 managers and 900 employees. No choice. That's what they had to do. So what did they do? They started a GoFundMe for all of those who have loved the Princess and made memories there, right? Guests like me who have loved the customer experience there. They started a GoFundMe page so that folks like me can contribute, and I have, to help them feed their family. The community and friends responded. They are now feeding employees every Friday and Tuesday. Now, these are the furloughed employees. These are the employees that aren't there, that aren't working there anymore because of the situation they have. But they're doing lunches for them every Tuesday and every Friday, a family meal of 4. They have served 2,000 free meals to their employees, former employees' family. He said, I thought that would make you smile. And man, it makes me giddy. And he says, it's given me a chance to say that I meant it when I said that we are family. I in the book Iconic, I also quote my buddy Larry Winget, and you've heard me talk about Larry before. And one of the things that Larry said is one of the most important things is to do what we said we would do when we said we would do it. And that's exactly what Jack is doing. And you can see now, even after the book, why I thought that was just fantastic. The way that they do things at the Fairmont is just incredibly important and powerful. So I just wanted to pass that along. They've done 2,000 free meals for employees that they've had to furlough and their family just to make certain that they stay connected. He said the employees will never forget that we didn't forget them, and that family is not just a word. They'll never forget that we didn't forget them. Isn't that powerful? I just thought that was amazing. I had to pass that along today. Hey, let me catch up here on a few of the folks that have joined us. Bonjour. Hello. Glad you are here. Thank you for that. And Ann, always great to see you. Audrey, always great to see you. Shep Hyken jumped in here for a little bit. I appreciate that so much. So thanks to everybody that's watching on Instagram now. Lynn, always great seeing you. Been too long. Pam, yes, and I do too. Boy, don't we love St. Elmo's. People who have been to St. Elmo's in Indianapolis, that was one of the case studies in the book as well. Here's a steakhouse in Indianapolis, surrounded by the national chains. I mean, Capitol Grill and Morton's and Fleming's and on and on and on. And it kills. The gross revenues of St. Elmo's in Indianapolis is higher than Tavern on the Green in New York City. It's one of the 20 highest revenue restaurants in America. Wouldn't you think most of those would be in Los Angeles, New York City, Manhattan, Chicago, Indianapolis? Why? They're iconic. And if you have not had the shrimp cocktail from St. Elmo's, man, you do not know what you have missed. It is iconic. It is amazing. And the service there, the customer experience is absolutely incredible, in part because of how they treat their people. One of the things that I've talked about for years is I've said, if employees are your greatest asset, why do you treat them like an expense? And when we look, one of the things that's happening now is that we see people like Jack Miller that are leaders that are treating their their team like family, even though they might not even be able to continue to keep them on the payroll. They find a way to make sure that they continue to know that they're part of the family. Then we see others that just they've let their employees know that for all their big talk about culture, that's not the real approach of leadership. So what are you doing right now if you have employees, whether it's a large organization or whether most of us here might only have 2 or 3 or 4 people working with us, but what are you doing right now? So that's one of the keys. So absolutely. Darla, always great to see you. Yeah, Charles, it is. It's so very true. So that's what I want to talk about. By the way, I thought I had it right here on my desk, but it's downstairs. My pal Shep Hyken is watching on Instagram, and Shep has updated and re-released a book that I reviewed on Amazon here recently called The Cult of the Customer, and it is as good a customer service, customer experience book as you're ever going to find. So I wanted to make certain that I pass that along to you. If you're looking for a great read while we have a little more downtime here, hard to beat Shep's Cult of the Customer book when it comes to that. So check that out with Shep. So that's what I wanted to pass along, a little abbreviated version here for a Saturday. But how we treat people now will be long remembered after what we're going through now has passed. And so how are you connecting with people? And how are you going to follow up on those connections and truly, truly make a difference and do what you said you would do even before this pandemic started, right? What were you saying before, and how is that revealing? There was... I'm trying to think of Mike Wickett was the name of the speaker, and is the name of the speaker. And Mike used to do this talk that I always loved, and he would pull up seeds, and he would pull up tomato seeds, and he'd say, all right, if I go plant these, what's going to grow? And the tomatoes, green beans, what's good? Green beans, and so guess what? What we plant is what grows. So the question is, what's growing with you right now? And what are you planting right now? What's growing is probably what you've planted. So if you don't like the crop, maybe you ought to try a different seed, plant something different. But the other thing, and Larry talked about this the other day, is that when you squeeze an orange, guess what you get out of it? Orange juice. If you want grapefruit juice, it doesn't do any good to squeeze orange. In other words, when there's pressure applied, what we really are is revealed. When pressure is applied, what we really are is revealed. And I think that folks like Jack Miller that I was just talking about here, it's being revealed what type of true leader they really, really are because of what we see in terms of what they are creating. And that's what we have to do as well, is what we are revealing to the world right now is what we really are. Darla, thankfully, our board has told us not to worry about this stay at home. They are taking care of us. We're continuing to get our paycheck. Grateful for that. There you go. Absolutely. That's a great, and obviously, Darla, there are some businesses that just can't do that. I mean, they just don't have the cash flow or the wherewithal to be able to continue to pay employees. I'm guessing that the Scottsdale Princess did not have the wherewithal to continue to write checks to 123 managers and 900 employees. But they can do things like setting up a GoFundMe page. They can do things like feeding them, every Tuesday and Friday. They can do things that make a difference like that. And so it's not just, it's great when you have an organization that can continue to make the paychecks. And if they could, they should. But if they can't, it's not just writing people off that have been a part of it. I wouldn't call my sister and say, the economic pressure is really difficult right now, so I've got to cut you loose, right? You're not my sister anymore. I got to let you go because I can't afford this family thing anymore. You can't do that. But what you can do is to find innovative and creative and unique ways to reinforce with the people in your life or in your business or in your organization that they are just as important now as what you said they were when times are good. Really important. Hey, Linda, good to see you. Especially fond of the seed comparison. Gives me an idea for my students. Good. It's one of the things every year, and gosh, who knows if it's going to happen this year or not, but every June, my sister just posted, oh no, Shelly, don't worry, I'm keeping you on, right? We're all good. One of the things that's really important in this is how we treat and how we talk with other people. And it's hard, because these are times of stress, and as we've joked here, it's hard to know what day it is. It's like Groundhog Day. But we got to reach out and we got to take advantage of it. And these things like Jack is doing and the things that we could all do are significant and important for all of us as well. I was starting to say, Linda, about one of the things I do every year is a program in Pepperdine University, and it's called the YCS, Youth Leadership Conference. It's just one of the greatest things I get a chance to do every year. George Foreman is one of the other speakers, and George and I have lunch every year and have for, I think, 17 years in a row now. And just the people that contribute their time. But one of the things that I talk about every year with that group, and it's a new group every year, it's students between their junior and senior year of high school. And one of the things I talk about every year is I kind of have them complete the phrase from antiquity that says, as you reap, and they all, as you sow, so shall you reap. And so I asked them, so what do you reap? Well, obviously what you've sown. And I said, is the statement true? And it's not true. We do not reap what we sow. That statement is absolutely untrue. Because if it were true, the farmer would plant one seed and get one back in return, right? If you reaped what you sowed, you would plant one and get one. Yet we know what is really true is we get exponentially more than we plant, right? I mean, what we plant, we get in return in abundance, exponentially. So if you plant the mediocre, you get mediocrity in abundance. If you plant anger, then you get hate and frustration in abundance. But if you plant good things, you will get good things in abundance. Now, that doesn't mean it's the only thing you'll get. The farmer plants a seed, but the farmer also gets rain and hail and sunshine and wind and all these other things that are involved in the process. But we get exponentially more than what we plant, which means we got to be really careful about what we're planting, because that's what we're going to get in return in abundance. So it all comes back to think about what Jack Miller is doing now. What seeds is he planting? In one of my favorite places is back home in Indiana, and it's the French Lick Springs Hotel. Now, if you aren't from that area, if you're not familiar with it, you cannot even imagine what an amazing place and property this is. Google it, the French Lick Springs Resort Hotel. It's just jaw-dropping. If you go there now, it is really like you're on the set of Titanic. I mean, just how ornate it is. And it takes you back in time. It is one of my favorite places in the world. Just incredible. Well, anyway, so the hotel was built, 100 years ago. And it was like Al Capone used to go there. The train line went from Chicago directly to the French Lick Springs Hotel. It was kind of, I don't know what resort you would think of today, but it was, Tammy, especially at Christmas time. I mean, you can't imagine what this resort was back in the, Carol Lombard and Clark Gable went there. I mean, it was just in that era, the place in the United States. Well, so, times change, things change. French Lick isn't easy to get to. Long before Larry Bird became popular, and it fell into disrepair. So changed hands several times, and you'd go, and it was just so sad. It was so dated, and it's this enormous property, and it was just incredible how this gorgeous place had fallen in. Well, anyway, so a billionaire family in Indiana, Cook Medical Devices is the family, purchased it. And they at first was going to shut down a part of it and repair, but try to keep it open the entire. Well, now they had to shut the whole place down. It had fallen in such disrepair, it wasn't safe. So they had to shut the whole place down. So guess what they did? They called all the employees together, and here are the employees who assume that they're going to a meeting to let them know that the hotel's shutting down, they're out of work, and they said it's not your fault that the property is in this situation. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to shut the place down, but we're going to keep you on payroll. But what we expect you to do are a couple things while you're not working at the hotel, but while we are going through this remodeling process. And that is, number one, we're going to have some courses for you in terms of training, in terms of what we want from the customer experience and how we want to change that when we reopen. And secondly, we want you, because we're going to add more staff, obviously, as this thing reopens. It's going to be exciting. And we're going to, now there's going to be gambling here. There's a casino that's there attached to it. So we're going to have a lot more people, a lot more employees coming. So we want you to be our ambassadors to help train those new employees that we're going to be hiring and to get them to be a part of this family and part of this spirit. So what do you think happened? Well, the employees they're thrilled. They are not losing their jobs. And here's a company that believes in them as much as they want to believe in the company. You go there and you have never seen such loyal, committed, dedicated, engaged employees. And guess what that does for the guests? It makes you love every minute that you're there because everybody loves what they're doing and appreciates their job. And it's absolutely fantastic. Guess what? It's one of the oldest rules in the book, right? Treat other people with respect. They're going to treat you with respect. Treat others the way you want to be treated. And it's proof that it absolutely works. Hey, I see my old friend, I shouldn't say my old friend, my longtime friend, Jim Tunney, is watching today. Jim Tunney is the greatest referee in the history of the National Football League, should be in the Hall of Fame, has been nominated many times, and I've sent a letter on his behalf several times, and he is just one of the greatest guys to ever set foot on the planet. Jim, thank you so much for taking your time to watch a little bit of this. Scott, I'm planning connections, so as you do are with others during these unusual times. Yeah, best of the house suite. Yeah, you bet. You stay well too, Jim. I appreciate it. You are the best. Pam, I had forgotten that. Yes, that's the hotel where you first saw me speak. Angie Fogel is watching too, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Angie. Charles, you reap exponentially more than you sow. Be careful is what you sow, and that's the message today. You reap exponentially more than you sow. So be really intelligent. Be really precise about those things that you sow. Well, thanks, everybody, for taking time to watch today. I will be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. We'll have another chat, some more ideas on some of the things that we need to be considering during this incredible time of change. Thanks so much for watching, whether you're on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or here on Instagram. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. See you soon.